on-demand library. So fun. Well, just get yourself settled and comfortable in your seats and begin taking some deep breaths. Start class in a little meditation so that we can let go of everything that came before this class, everything that is to come after. Really just get present with our experience. Notice how the body feels. Any spots that may be tightly wound. Just notice that. You can move accordingly. Notice any feelings that are on the surface, giving them your presence for a moment so they can soften. Today's practice is about sourcing our power. Not from external validation, not from how we look or perform, not from the opinions of others, but from the deep well of love that exists within us. That power is always there, just waiting to be tapped into, just waiting for your belief. One of the most powerful ways to access this inner strength is through the breath. One of my favorite practices lately is called Brahmari, or honeybee breath. And some of you have done this breath with me. It's a pranayama practice. It's a way for us to become really present and embodied. This practice calms the nervous system. It clears the mind and connects us back to our own inner vibration. You can think of it like a reset. This breath requires a hum, which is about projecting that outwards. So find comfort in the fact that we will all be participating. And this is how it goes. You take a deep inhale, and then exhale, take your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Exhale out of the nose. We'll do this again, but we'll add a hum. Deep inhale, tongue to the roof of the mouth, and hum. Extending that hum as long as you can. Find a pause at the bottom. Deep inhale to the nose and hum. Keep it going. Find that pause at the bottom. Inhale and hum. Find your pause. We'll take two more. Deep inhale. Sing it out. Feel this vibration within you, working to calm the mind. Find that pause. Feel the empty. Inhale. Last one. Give it all you got. Hum. Beautiful. Lengthen it out. Keep going. Find your pause at the bottom. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, let it be soft, slow. Notice any differences within you. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm, steady, effortless. Let the belly be soft. Let the inhales be full, expansive, maybe even feel your shoulders, collarbones widen, head lift. Exhale, anchor all the way into your space, empty all the way out. Feel how each inhale creates space, how each exhale invites ease. As we move today through our practice, notice what you need and honor it. If you need stillness, take it. If you need strength, cultivate it. Your power is not something to seek. It's here within you, waiting for you to claim what you need. Our intention today is simply to stay present with our experience. I am here. I am listening. I am here. I am listening. Blink your eyes open and we'll begin. Take our right hand down, left arm up and over for a side body stretch. Notice as we move into shapes, the body speaks in sensation. You can discern if you want more or less of this. Whatever direction you go, trust that there are benefits in the innate shape. Just taking the shape, cultivating your breath, your body will receive what it needs. Inhale back to the top. Take it to the other side. Deep inhale, expanding in all directions. Exhale, soften. Lean in. Inhale, we'll take it all the way to the top. Take your knees and bring them together. And then we'll shift them over to the right and walk your hands all the way behind you, looking towards the back door. And find your twist. The hips can move. So you can roll that tailbone under, or you can stick it back. So know that within each shape, there are options for you to move within the container. And we base that off of how it feels. Find whatever version of the shape feels best for you, and then breathe. We'll walk those hands all the way back to the front. Let the knees drop over to the left, and walk your hands again towards the back of the room. And then we'll arrive back at the front. You can cross the legs. This is an introductory to this pose, or you can stack the legs. It just depends how much flexibility you have in the hips. And we'll begin to walk those hands forwards. Let your head be heavy. And our postures are not black or white. It's not all in or all out. There's a lot of gray area in between. So as you begin to lower the head, chin to chest, notice when the body says, this is enough. Take a few breaths there, and you may just find some more space to dive in a little bit deeper. Remember that this practice is meant to make you feel good, not just on your mat, but after. So we're never pushing ourselves deep into the pose to feel pain. We're simply moving ourselves into a posture to feel sensation. Your only work is to breathe and listen. Begin to walk the hands backwards. Notice which leg is in front or on top. We'll take the hands behind us. Fingertips towards your hips is going to be more intense. Fingertips backwards will be less. And we're going to push into our feet and our hands and gently lift the hips. As we get into the shoulders, yes.
Your camera seems to be frozen. I don't know if that's true for other people. So I can hear you fine. Oh, that's better.
Okay, good. Easy fix. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I was
telling
not
me.
able to see you either.
Everybody good? We'll sink those hips back down, cross the other foot in front or on top, and walk those hands back forwards. Get into the hips. Know that your postures are not stagnant. There's always room to shift and move. So you can always invite in a sway side to side, a reach to one direction or the other, a shifting of the hips, a bending and straightening of the elbows, a sway of the head. Our postures tend to bring up sensation in a localized area, but there are benefits for the whole body if we're not rigid, if we're malleable and soft. So allow movement to take place if you feel called to do so, or find that stillness and let the breath breathe you. Walk those hands back, plant the feet, lift the knees. We'll take that posture one more time. The fingertips were backwards. Maybe you face them towards the hips. Lift. And maybe you have the space to let your head move backwards, gaze up towards the ceiling. And lower those hips back down. Cross at the ankles and come to a tabletop. Shoulders are over wrists, hips are over knees. And then we'll invite in our cow shape. So drop the belly and the chest, rotate the sit bones backwards, press down into the hands to lift up and out of the shoulders and take your gaze high. Take a few breaths here. Into cat, roll those hips under, belly button comes to spine, chin to chest. Press down, breathe into the backside body. We'll link breath and movement. Inhale, cow, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, chin to chest, round the upper back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. You can keep with this shape if that feels good, or you can add in some intuitive movement, shifting forwards and backwards, linking them together. You can take some circles of the rib cage, head, and hips. Take about 5 or 6 breaths here. Just moving in a way that feels good and nourishing, waking the body up. Last round of breath, and then we'll arrive in a neutral spine. And we'll take that left foot up to the front of the mat. Lower those hips towards the mat, and as you press down into the hands, find length through the top of the head. In our lizard pose here. There are options. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can come down onto elbows if you have the space. Blocks are there to bring the floor up to you. If you'd like to use those, they're always a choice. If you'd like to get a little more into the hips, let the left knee and ankle track off to the side. You can press it out with the left hand, take your gaze high. All options in this pose. And there is room to explore. So if you explore a version of the shape that doesn't work for you, come back to the last place that did. Right hip always sinking towards the mat. And then we'll get ready to move into our next shape. Send those hips backwards and straighten the front leg. If the floor feels too far away from you, grab those blocks under your hands. And we're gonna lift those left toes back towards your face, flexing them. Stick your sit bones backwards towards the back of the room and notice how the front heel wants to begin pressing down to wake up the hamstring. If it's too much, bend the knee. If you're ready for more, find length in the spine, press down into the hands. Get into the IT band, take your hands or blocks and place them over the left leg off the mat. Right hip will move forwards, left backwards. Still finding that long spine, still gently pressing that left heel down. Any trembling in the body is normal. No need to press through it. If it's too much, just bend that left knee. I am here. I am listening. Let's walk those hands back to the inside of the left leg and just take that left leg back to the starting position. We'll step that right foot up, lizard lunge. Left hip lowers towards the mat. Right foot and left knee are gently guiding towards one another. And then you can decide, stay on your hands. Maybe move down to elbows. Maybe let that right knee, right ankle track to the outside. Right hand can find that right knee to press it outwards. We all have different bodies, different needs. You do not need to look like your neighbor. Come back onto your mat, into your body. What would your practice look like if you were not striving, but simply asking yourself what you needed? Deep inhale. Long, slow exhale. Come back up onto hands. We're moving to the next shape. We'll send the hips backwards, straighten that front leg, toes come back towards your face. The blocks have 3 heights, so know that you can choose however much support or height you need. Stick your sit bones backwards. Think about straightening the spine. So pull those shoulder blades into the body, kind of puff your heart out. Gently press that right heel down. Bend the knee for less. Straighten for more. Unwinding tension from sitting, traveling, just our day-to-days. Begin to walk those hands over the right leg. Right hip moves backwards, left hip forwards. It's very subtle, not a big movement. Notice as we take these actions, how it changes the experience of the posture. Those subtle shifts matter. Walk the hands back around. Inside of the right foot, we'll step that right foot back. If you have a bit of trouble in your down dog, just remember the knees can be bent. We're going to tuck the toes and send the hips backwards towards the heels. Really feel that foot stretch in the right and the left. Spread your fingers wide and plug your fingertips down into the mat. We'll press forwards into the hands as the knees hover and the hips lift. Trying to drop the ears away from the shoulders. Shake the head no and yes. And then maybe you pedal one knee and then the other, bending and straightening. And then we'll begin to walk your hands backwards towards your feet. In this forward fold, knees are bent. You can grab for the back of the calves, or for more, you can wrap your peace fingers under your big toes and replant the toes onto the fingers. As we inhale, we'll stick our butt backwards and find a nice long spine. Reach your head towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold in. Several of these. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, lengthen. Little more space with every breath. Fold it in. Again, inhale, nice and deep. Exhale, fold it in. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, fold it in. We'll step the right foot behind the left foot. Pinkies meet. We're going to really, really bend that left knee as the right leg starts to straighten. Again, if you don't have access to the floor, your hands can find the left shin or the left knee or your blocks. Just feel into that right hip. If it's too much, you can step the right foot backwards a little bit or bend more into the left knee. A few breaths to experience where that stretching sensation is showing up for you. There's always the question of if you can release any unnecessary grippings. That could be in the place that the sensation is showing up. That could be your face. Are you scrunching your face? Can you soften there? We're going to be moving here, uncrossing the right foot from the left. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips find the shins, long spine. Exhale, fold it in, step the left foot behind the right, pinkies come close. Bend the right knee, straighten the left. Hands on blocks if needed or on that right knee. Feeling into the left hip, breathing. Softening. Experiencing. And then we'll slowly move to unwind. Begin to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Palms face the front. Take those shoulders, reach them up to your ears, and then draw them down and back. Shoulder blades come together, heart open. We'll shift the weight into the left foot, lift the right knee. A little bit of balance here. Find something to focus on, a point where you can place your gaze. And then we're going to take that knee all the way around and cross the right foot behind the left. Bring your arms up high. Grab onto the right wrist as the hands come over to the left, stretch through the right side. We're placing even pressure into both feet. And we're keeping the heart open, gaze lifted. Back to center with the hands, slowly uncross the feet. Balance comes from moving slowly. Lift the left knee. You can keep the arms up or down, up to you. Find that balance. Strong right ankle. Take the knee out wide. And cross the left foot behind the right. Grab onto the left wrist. Hands move to the right, hips to the left. Pressing into both feet evenly. Take your gaze high. Hands find the center, slowly shift the weight to the right foot and uncross. Lift the hands, open the heart and the hips, baby back bend. We're not dumping, the backside body is supporting the front side. Hands come through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, walk them back to your down dog. We're going to lift up onto our toes and shift the heels to the right. Send those hips over to the right. More pressure goes into the right hand. You can come onto the left fingertips if that feels good. Or keep it planted. Feel that stretch from left fingertips all the way through your shoulder, back to your hips. Lift back up onto toes and shift the heels to the left. Place weight into the left hand. Maybe walk that right hand forwards. Feel that length. Back to toes. Drop the heels and walk to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rise one vertebrae at a time. Shift the weight to the left foot. Lift that right knee. Over the course of 3 breaths, we're going to slowly step that right foot to the back of the mat. How gracefully can you get there? So begin to shift your shoulders forwards. Heart is open as we lengthen the right foot to the back. Bend the left knee, slowly lower those right toes down. And we'll find our crescent pose, arms lift. Grab onto that right wrist. Reach those hands over to the left, side body stretch in the right. Hands come back to center. Bend the elbows, open the heart. Sweep those hands down and forwards towards the front of the room. Long line from fingertips to your back heel. Strong left leg. Shift the weight into that left foot. Step back to the top of the mat. Inhale, open the heart space. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Shift to the right foot. Left knee lifts. Nice and slow. Begin to shift that left foot backwards. Heart space moves towards the front. Strong right leg. Extended left leg. Plant those toes down as we send those hands towards the front of the room. Lift the chest, crescent pose. Grab onto the left wrist. Shift those hands over to the right. Back through center. Bend the elbows, open the heart. Sweep those hands down. Let them find the front of the room. Reach fingertips to heels. Step to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands through heart center, forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank position. Lower the knees. Keep your hips lifted as we take our chin down between our hands. Inhale, upward dog, hips lower, lift the heart. Press down into the feet, maybe take them wide. And we're gonna imagine sending our elbows backwards and pulling our heart through. Find your breath. Child's pose. Hips backwards, toes together, knees out wide. Few moments to breathe, to listen. Wave yourself back forwards to tabletop. Knees come under hips, tuck the toes. Lift those hips down, dog. Walk your feet forwards to the front of the room. Inhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your arms high to the ceiling. Exhale, open the arms, twist to the left. Find your center, hands lift. Exhale, open to the right. Inhale, lift. Find that baby back bend, open the heart, open the hips, backside body supports the front. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shift the weight to the left foot, right knee lifts. Begin to send that right foot backwards, hands move towards the front of the room. Really slowly step to the back of your mat. On your toes, hands lift, find that crescent position. Feel rooted. You can always take your feet wider apart if that stance feels more secure. And we're going to take that twist towards the left, open the arms out wide. Strong left leg, strong back leg. We're going to tip that left hand down towards our thigh, right hand meets the sky. Really reach that right hand up as high as you can. Notice the tendency to hold the breath when things get challenging. Left hand sweeps back high to the ceiling, crescent. Step right to meet left, front of the mat. Inhale, lift, open the heart. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shift the weight to the right foot, left knee lifts. Slowly step towards the back of the mat, hands move towards the front of the room. Once your foot is planted, check your feet. Wider stance feels a little more secure. Inhale, lift the hands high. Really strong back leg, bend into that right knee. Move into that twist towards the right. Pressing down into the back foot, pulling the tummy in can take some pressure off the low back. Right hand, left thigh, left hand towards the ceiling. Take your gaze high if you can. Reach those left fingertips away from you. Sweep that right hand high to the sky. Step left to meet right. Inhale, open. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step the right foot to the back of the mat and shift that heel down to the left, setting us up for warrior two. Need to get some air going in here. My gosh, you guys are creating some heat. We're gonna inhale, right hand's gonna lead the way all the way up to our warrior two. Notice that front leg. If your knee is in front of your ankle, then that foot needs to scoot up a little bit. Actions of the torso. Hands are plugging backwards, shoulder blades are squeezing, and we're puffing our heart out. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Press your hands away. We'll extend this warrior. Take the left hand towards the front of the room. Left rib cage hovering over that left thigh. Left elbow comes down to meet the knee. Right arm sweeps up and over. I'm going to exalt this warrior. Come back through warrior two. Right hand comes behind your back. Left hand paints the sky. Moving into sky archer, straighten that left leg. We're going to begin shifting our hips and our gaze towards the right. Left toes will face the length of the mat. Wide-legged forward fold. Left hand comes down. Right hand stays on your hips. Shift your gaze towards the right. Take the right hand back down to the mat. Let that head hang heavy. Wide-legged forward fold. Walk those hands back towards the front of the mat. Toes will turn. Right foot will step up to meet left, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees. Step the left foot to the back of the mat and pivot that heel down, perpendicular with the front foot. Left hand leads the way all the way up, warrior two. Find the outside edge of that left foot, firmly plant it, bend into the right knee. Check your stance. Knee should not be in front of the ankle. If so, step that foot forwards. Extend that warrior. Right hand reaches. Right rib cage is hovering over that right thigh. Right elbow down to right knee. Left arm sweeps up and over. Take your gaze to the sky. We'll find our warrior two again. Arms out wide. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Sweep the left hand behind your back. Right hand paints the sky. Sky archer, straighten that right leg. Take your gaze and chest towards the right. Notice those right toes want to turn towards the length of the mat. Right hand comes down to the floor. Left hand stays on your low back. Shift your gaze towards the left. Take your left hand down to the floor, wide-legged forward fold. Bend into the left knee. Strong, straight right leg. And we'll shift over to the right. Right knee bends, left leg straight. Wide-legged forward fold, straighten both legs, walk those hands and toes towards the front of the mat. Step left to meet right, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it in. Bend that right knee, keep the left leg straight. Right elbow comes in contact with the right knee. Lift the left hand high towards the sky for a twist. Left hand comes down to the floor, straighten that right leg. Bend the left knee, straight right leg. Left elbow comes to the knee as the right hand sweeps up to the sky. Right hand comes down. Heel toe those feet to the outside of the mat. Toes will step off the mat as we lower the hips, yogi squats. Come down to whatever depth feels good to you. Invite those sways side to side, shifting right foot to left foot. You can keep the hands down if you like that support, put a block under your hips, or you can take your hands to your heart center, elbows pushing into the knees, tailbone heavy. See if we can puff that heart out, lift your gaze a little bit higher. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm giving myself what I need. And take the hands down to the floor. We're going to come down to our butt. Let's shift ourselves backwards into the center of the mat. Move the fluff from your sit bones and we'll take that right foot in to meet the left thigh. If there's any pain in the knee, a block can come under that right knee. And we'll begin to walk the hands forwards. You can grab for the left foot or simply take the right hand over the left shin. Chin comes to chest, folded in. Pull yourself back up to a straight spine. Lift the right knee and cross the right foot over the left thigh. Left hand comes to the right knee, or you can wrap that arm around the knee, hug it in. Right hand becomes the second spine behind you. Pull it in for a twist. Spine is lengthening, heart is puffing out. Back to center, unwind the legs, take the feet, plant them, knees together, lift those hips, reverse table. We've been here before. Lower the hips, straighten that right leg, left foot comes in. Block under the left knee if there's any pain there, and begin to walk the hands forwards. Left hand can meet the right shin, or you can reach for the right foot, pull yourself in. Next inhale, roll yourself back up. Left knee lifts, step left foot over right leg. Right hand captures the left knee. Left hand becomes a second spine. Left arm. Back to center, unwind the legs. And we'll roll ourselves to our backs. Bend the knees, plant the feet. We're going to cross that left ankle over the right knee, figure 4. Both feet stay flexed. Find your sacrum, the back of your hips. Find your shoulders firmly planted, back of the head heavy. And then pull that left shin in towards you. The right leg will facilitate this by pushing into the left ankle. You can grab for the left shin. You can thread that left hand and interlace the fingers on the right shin or right thigh. Inhale, find length. Exhale, settle in, pull a little bit deeper. Leg a little bit closer to you. Breathing, keep listening. And we'll release. That right foot comes back down to the mat. Uncross left over right. You can take a windshield wiper of the knees to reset, just letting them move to the left and the right a few times. And then we'll take the same on the other side. Right ankle crosses over left knee, feet stay flat. Find those root points and then pull the right shin in. Left knee presses into that right foot. Anchor your hands wherever you have access. Shin, thigh. Breathe. What would your practice look like if you were not striving for a certain posture, but showing up for what feels good? For softening your grip around what doesn't. Allowing room for ease and unwinding. Trusting that growth is there. Release is there. Without force. Just by showing up consistently over a long period of time. Release the grip, release the shape. Take your right foot down to the mat. Maybe invite those windshield wipers. The knees will find center. We'll press into them as we lift the hips. Find your bridge. Fingertips are reaching towards those heels, getting those shoulders underneath you, maybe finding an interlace of the hands, just an option, not a have to. Long neck. Press the back of the head into the mat. Release the grip. Take the hips back down. Pull the knees into your armpits out wide. Shift side to side to lengthen the spine. And then lift those feet up towards the ceiling and flex them. Happy baby. You can grab for the inner shins or the outside of the feet. Pull those knees down towards the mat, feet out wide. You can sway your happy baby side to side, trying to root back of your hips, your shoulders, back of the head, knowing that if they don't land, it's okay. It's just an intention. And then bring those feet together, knees out wide for this reclined butterfly. And grab for the outside of the feet or the ankles. And then lift those feet back up to the ceiling, arms out wide, feet up the wall. Roll your ankles, roll your wrists. And sway the feet side to side. If you'd like to take a candle or a plow, if that is in your practice, feel free. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just stay with the sway. Side to side, massaging the low back, preparing for our final resting posture. Wherever you are, slowly coming back to center, pulling those knees in for a hug. We'll do one last lift and squeeze. So lifting the head up off of the mat, forehead aiming towards the knees, squeeze everything tight. And release. Feet find the outside corners of the mat. Arms come out wide. Coming back to that nice, steady, slow breath. Feeling the support of the ground beneath you. Releasing the need to do the work. We come back into presence with our experience. Notice what has shifted over the course of the last hour. Calm body, calm mind. Your power has never been outside of you. It has never depended on how you look, how you perform, or what anyone else thinks of you. It lives in your breath, in your ability to meet yourself exactly as you are, and in the love that you choose to offer yourself in moments of challenge. Take one more deep inhale all together and let it go in whatever way feels best. As we rest here in Shavasana, know that you can return to this place, this breath, this presence, this well of power whenever you need it. It is within you. Breathe easy and trust I will call you out when it is time.
Slowly come back into the space with your breath. Some micro movements of the fingers and toes. Let those movements build, grow. When you feel yourself coming back, awake, shift yourself to the right or the left, just to press yourself up to a seat in front of the mat. Allow your hands to find your heart, one over the other, or in a symbol of prayer, whatever calls to you this morning. And bow your head into yourself in gratitude for this practice, this moment. Bow in gratitude for the unwavering truth that you are enough, exactly as you are. Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks. It's wonderful.